Welcome to the Intolerant Humanist. I am your host, Ethan Lawless. This is episode 3. Today, we are going to just kind of have a conversation about some randomness. Some of the things in politics, some of maybe my old TikTok videos, and some of the things I believe and why I believe them. So let's get started. I made a video today, actually, on the conversation of TikTok. I saw this video and it said, would you date yourself? And the answer is honestly, absolutely not. I would never date me for a lot of reasons. I made a lot of mistakes kind of growing up that I'm still suffering the consequences for, and I don't think it's fair that I share those with other people. I'm a medical fucking disaster. I'm resting blood pressure of 200 over 140. Dialysis or kidney failure. Even if I get a transplant, all that does is add 10 years to my life, and I'll be back on dialysis again. So really, it would be an absolute challenge to date me, and so I have a hard time with this, right? I'm not super interested in sex, and this is something I mentioned in the TikTok video I made. I'm not super interested in sex. If I was just super interested in sex, being pansexual, I could just, do the hookup culture thing with the gay community, because that seems to be all it is these days. And, but I'm not. I'm more interested in just having somebody there, right? Enjoying their company. Being able to have conversation, get back scratches, which I fucking miss. And, wake up with them in the morning and have a cup of coffee and just exist together. That's it. But it's super difficult like that. You know what I mean? It's because of my past and the consequences that I'm dealing with now, and because of my medical issues. I don't think it's fair to ask somebody to be with me. That said, I miss it. I do. I miss having somebody there. But yeah, that was a TikTok video that I talked about and discussed, and I posted up. What else is going on? I would like to say that for those of you who don't know me very well, I am absolutely under no circumstances a conservative, a Republican, or a libertarian. I am under no circumstances a liberal or a Democrat. I consider myself, I call it progressive humanist. Because I think the goal of humanity should be to advance, progress, move forward, reach for the stars, and settle other planets. Just learn as much as we can about nature and reality while our species still exists. Because extinction's inevitable. We're never going to escape that, right? Extinction's a guarantee. At some point in the future, humanity will cease to exist. Now, whether that's through a process of evolution and we evolve into a different species, okay, or as with the nature of all things, everything dies eventually, right? You live on a planet where 99.9% of all species that have ever existed have gone extinct. It's not going to be any different for human beings. So in the time that we are given, I would think it would be advantageous to learn as much about reality and nature as we possibly can. To create equitable societies where we limit the amount of suffering and try to increase the amount of well-being to each individual person. But we're a young species, right? And so we've got to get over some shit. We've got to get over our differences in race and culture and all that shit. We've got to be able to just get over that. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we have to do it. I think education might be the best answer to that. I think one of the things that should be required in public school systems, and honestly private school systems, is social skills. Teaching social skills from preschool on up. What's appropriate behavior? What isn't appropriate behavior? Teaching ethics to children, I think, is very important. It's something we don't do, but we absolutely should be doing. I think that would eliminate a lot of our issues with prejudice and bias. Another conversation I want to have, and I've taken heat on TikTok for this at least once. Fuck cultural appropriation. That is such a bullshit, nonsensical fucking thing. In the history of mankind, we have shared cultures with each other. And that's like the epitome of a free society, right? Is being able to share cultures. And this idea, like, if you're putting on a Native American headdress for the sole purpose of being a fucking asshole, well, okay, but that just means you're a fucking asshole. Cultural appropriation is bullshit. 100% bullshit. You're not going to come after me for wearing fucking braids or this, what was it, the Olympic thing in Hawaii with surfing. Some people have an issue with surfing being an Olympic game because it's cultural appropriation of Hawaiian culture. Get fucked. Get fucked. It is such a nonsense, arrogant fucking thing to think that you're the only one allowed to do a certain thing because of your race or your culture. That's such bullshit. That is like the epitome of segregation. You're saying that my culture is the only culture that can do this activity. That's cultural appropriation. That is literal segregation. And it's insane. And I get it. I'm a privileged white boy sitting here talking shit. Well, fucking sue me. Like, don't get me wrong. I recognize that I have white privilege. I disagree with the far left on the idea of white guilt. I'm not guilty. I didn't do it. I'm not a colonizer. I didn't do it. That shit was my well, it wasn't even my fucking ancestors, to be honest. Like, yes, I have white privilege. Yes, I do believe that I benefit from a busted fucking system to some degree. But there's nothing I can do about what happened in the past. And I wasn't a part of it. I am not to blame for things that happened in the past. So, fuck white guilt. Fuck cultural appropriation. That's fucking shit show argument. We can solve race issues without going that far with it. And on the topic also, fuck cancel culture. Like, don't get me wrong, I think people should be held accountable for the things that they say. To the extent that, like, there's like a couple of Olympic officials that got fired from their job as Olympic officials because of shit they did decades ago. This is insanity. Why? Why in the fuck are we destroying people's lives for a joke they told in a private conversation 12 years ago? What the fuck is going on? This is not okay. That part of cancel culture needs to stop. If there's somebody out there who is blatantly being a racist or blatantly being a misogynist or blatantly being homophobic, then yeah, they should be held accountable. But if somebody said a joke or if somebody made a comment about something dozens of years ago and maybe they've changed their tune since then, we shouldn't be fucking canceling people for that shit. Not even a little bit. This is fucking insanity. And as far as jokes go, everybody can disagree with me on this, I don't care, but jokes are not racial or racist. Jokes are not racist. Jokes are racial. There's a difference. And nobody is off limits. Just because somebody mocks your culture doesn't mean you're being singled out. You know, guys, jokes are told about men. Jokes are told about women. Jokes are told about being gay, lesbian, and transgender. Jokes are told about blacks, whites, Asians, Hispanics. Jokes are told about skinny people, fat people. Jokes are told about everybody. Everybody gets to be the butt of a joke. You can understand that there are terrible, horrible things in this life that happen and still have a fucking sense of humor about it. You're not an evil person for that. And I would challenge people. Like, you don't have to make people the butt of your jokes. It's just rude. Alright. Well, you want to hear a dirty joke? A pig fell in the mud. Fucking liberal sense? That's just mean to the pig. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. One of the greatest things that we have available to us as human beings are jokes. Laughter. That shit is powerful. And it's awesome. And it could change your mood like that. You could be having the worst fucking day in the world. Just everything going horribly wrong. But somebody says a joke that you actually find funny, and it can change your whole fucking mood and your whole entire perspective. So we need to realize that everybody's like, yeah, okay, you're not going to find this joke funny. Fine, don't find it funny. But don't sit there and pretend like your offense actually means anything to anybody. Be offended. I don't fucking care. It's a waste of your goddamn energy, and it has no effect on anybody else. We need a sense of humor. We need to be able to laugh in this life. We have created societies that have made life hard and stressful, and we need to be able to laugh at shit once in a while. So if your dipshit cousin decided to take a boner pill and then, you know, your entire family visited unannounced and he's got a big old heart on, whatever, that shit's funny. And you know what? He can take the humility for a little while. Get over it. Here is a topic of subject that I really wanted to address. Something that has me absolutely furious at the fucking Olympics. The idea that women have to wear these scantily ass bathing suit fucking things. Oh my fucking god. And then the one team got fined. The female team got fined for wearing shorts. And I think it was the artist Pink that paid that fine. Like, are you fucking serious? Who is officiating the... Now, if you wanted to cancel somebody for something, that right there would be a legitimate reason to cancel somebody not doing their job correctly. Forcing women to wear scantily clad outfits is fucking disgusting. If they don't want to wear that shit, they shouldn't have to wear that shit. It's a woman's choice to wear what she is comfortable wearing. If she doesn't want to wear a fucking bikini, she shouldn't have to wear a fucking bikini. That's something that, you know, people should have been canceled for that bullshit straight out. That was a cancelable offense, 100%. Fucking fining women for not wearing the appropriate... Fuck you. Oh my god, that is horrible fucking behavior right there. That is disgusting. So, you know, I think that's something that should have been addressed. I did have a fundraiser up on Facebook. I did end up taking that down. My brother actually co-signed an auto loan to help me out. I picked up a 2016 Kia Soul. I think the total loan was about $16,000. Because I didn't have any money for the down payment, the monthly payments are a little inflated, but after a year, I'll be able to refinance it, and you know, it'll be okay. It's, you know, $360 a month is better than renting a car for $360 a week. So I'm not going to complain. Definitely waiting for the college kids to come back, because as soon as that happens, I will be very, very busy, and that's kind of what I want. So It's been slow because of summer months, and the college kids are all gone. They should be coming back in the next few weeks, being that it's August now. So here's hoping that it gets busy. That said, because I had so much time off looking to try to get that vehicle, I ended up falling behind and struggling to get my bills paid. So if you like my content, and I hate to add this, but I have to. If you like my content and you think it's worthwhile, it's worth a few dollars, I'd appreciate it. So, like, subscribe, and you can donate to my PayPal, which I will have linked in the description box of the YouTube video for this podcast. Oh, moving on. What's another good subject we should talk about that's been recent? Really quick, I would like to say fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. They can both go fuck themselves. Especially Lauren Boebert. Wasn't she the one that had the tweet out that said, I stood in line for government cheese, I had welfare, and then in the same tweet, but the next paragraph, she was always talking shit about people being on welfare? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what the fuck is that? Republicans, why are you voting these stupid fuckers in office? Not to mention, she's got a fucking rap sheet from hell. I'm not saying that the rap sheet should disqualify her. I'm saying her attitude, her worldview, her moral compass is fucked, and that woman shouldn't be anywhere near office. Same with Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is the ditzy fucking airhead who said that the wildfires in California were started by Jewish space lasers on the moon. I think they're both QAnon conspiracy nuts. What the fuck are they doing in office? Here's the problem. Here's the real problem. Marjorie Taylor Greene ran unopposed, which tells me that people who would be good aren't running for office. We need good people running for office. And I think that people are so desensitized to how the government behaves that nobody thinks it's worthwhile to do it. But the government would change if we had good people in there. So if you're somebody who's accomplished and you've got a solid moral structure and you want to affect change, then maybe you should be running for office. And I would say the more people of color, the more members of the LGBTQ community that we get into politics, the better off this country will be. Especially if we can get more women involved in politics too. We need more people of color, women of color. We need more LGBTQ. We need the minorities to be in office. You know, the Christian thing, I don't think it's ever going to go away. Okay, so like QAnon is just fumes from like the fucking satanic panic, right? That is always going to exist, and there's always going to be gullible, stupid fucking people who buy into that bullshit. Whatever. Someday maybe we'll get rid of them. I don't think we will. But if we diminish their role in making policy and law, we can build a more equitable society. And one of the things, like, oh God, I was listening to the newest episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, and he interviewed the, I guess, new mayor of New York City. And I like this guy. Like, I haven't had a chance to really dig into his policies and look at him, but from what I heard in just his like conversation with Bill Maher, this dude gets it. Like, he is after better access to public education. So one of the things he said was like some 87, I think, % of people that are imprisoned at the Rikers prison are people without a high school diploma or a GED. And his position was, if you don't educate, you're going to incarcerate. And I agree with that. I think education is the most paramount, one of the most, if not the single most important aspect of any nation. A nation is only as good as its population, and a population can only be good if it's educated. You know, conservatives seem to think that when a kid goes to college, they get brainwashed. No, it's just that conservatives are fucking wrong about everything. It's not that you're getting brainwashed. It's that conservatives don't understand how research and facts work. It's like I had a guy on TikTok. He linked an article out of, I believe, Michigan. And it said something along the title, just the title of this of this article was 74% of new COVID infections are like the new 74% of the new COVID infections were people who were vaccinated. But what this dude didn't do is actually read the article. While 74% of the new infections were vaccinated, of those people, 4% required any hospitalization and 0 of them died. 0. He didn't read the article. He tried to pass off with just the title that the COVID vaccine didn't work. Well, yes, it fucking works. It works in the same way a seatbelt works. A seatbelt, you can still die in a car accident wearing a seatbelt. You still wear one because it reduces risk. That's what the COVID vaccine does. It reduces the risk of serious infection, hospitalization, or death. It's not a 100% cure. They didn't kill the fucking virus. Right. And it's like, I mean, condoms are not 100% effective at stopping pregnancies or STDs. You still fucking wear one. Birth control is not 100% effective at stopping pregnancies. You still fucking use it because it's a shield. It's better than nothing. So, like, yeah, I mean, conservatives don't pay attention to facts. And to be honest, neither do fucking liberals. It's like, I read a couple of articles, last year, I believe? The FBI, and I would have to look this up again, but the FBI and the CDC released crime statistic and death statistics data for gun-related deaths and crimes. They released this in 2018. It was for the year of 2017. And what they found was, I think it was almost 40,000 gun-related deaths in 2017. 63 or 64% of them, like 21 or 22,000 people died from suicide, and almost all of those suicides were pistol related. Of the homicides, something like 64% of homicides in 2017 were with a pistol. 4% were with an AR-15, and 2% were with a shotgun, and the rest of the percentage was unreported. In 2017, if I remember correctly, they said 1,500 people were beat to death with fist and foot. 460 some odd people were beat to death with a hammer. It was like 297 or 397 people were shot with all rifles. All rifles, not just the AR. AK, AR, bolt action, lever action, pump action, all rifles. So round up, call it 400 people. You are 5 times more likely in 2017 to be beat to death by fist and foot than you were to be shot with a rifle. 64% of all homicides in 2017 were with a pistol. Like that I mean, Democrats and the liberals always talk shit about how, they're willing to do, you got to do research, Well, fucking do research then. I mean, shit is asinine. The AR-15 is no more a threat than a bolt of lightning. I don't know why the media has a hard-on for it. I think it's probably just because it captures people's attention. The AR-15 looks scary. But pistols are far more of a threat than the AR-15 platform ever could be. And there's something that Democrats need to be aware of. Every time some Peckerwood Democrat gets on stage and says, we're going to take your guns, what they've effectively done is mass sold guns and ammunition. As soon as a Democrat gets on stage, and when Beto got on stage and said that stupid shit, gun sales and ammunition sales went through the fucking roof. Skyrocketed. So Democrats need to stop saying stupid shit like that because they're adding to the problem. Now, personally, I do believe there are groups of people who shouldn't have guns. I think that if you're a member of a recognized hate group, if the FBI is paying attention to you, you shouldn't have a fucking gun. If you have any posts on social media that degrade women, degrade people of color, you shouldn't have a fucking gun. If you are a hateful ass clown, you shouldn't have a fucking gun. You shouldn't have access to things that would allow you to harm large groups of people in rapid succession. Because you're obviously emotionally unstable. If you're hateful of one group of people, you're very emotionally unstable. And I don't think you should have guns. What else should we talk about? I'm kind of ranting and I'm being random. Welcome to, ADHD. It's part of the game. Let's do a TikTok video really quick. Let's see if we can find one of my old ones and kind of discuss that and see what that's about. This one's kind of controversial, but we can run with it.
Pedophilia is a sexual preference. Pedophilia is a sexual preference.
Alright, let's get one thing perfectly straight. Pedophilia is not a sexual fucking preference. There's a core problem here. See, the problem with this is children cannot give informed or enthusiastic consent. They don't know any better. And there are enough studies to show that children who are sexually abused end up becoming very dysfunctional adults. Some of them can move past it. A lot of them can't. So no, pedophilia is not a sexual fucking preference. It's a mental fucking illness. Now, I've heard of stories where a lot of this pedosexual bullshit was coming from like conservatives trying to make the LGBTQ community look bad. Granted, I wouldn't put it past conservatives to do something like that, and I'm sure there's some truth to that. And I've also heard that there was actually a group of people who are quote-unquote pedosexuals. I think that it's a mental illness. 100%. And if you're aware of that and you're getting help, good on you. If you're aware of that and you act on it, I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. I'd dump gasoline on you. You absolutely, if you victimize a child to that degree, you deserve death. Period. I am not going to be fucking sorry about that. If there was ever a reason to use the death penalty, that would be the one and only in my book. I don't really like the death penalty. I'm not a fan of it, but that would be absolutely one of them. Because you have messed up that kid for life. You have stolen from them their innocence. And you are truly an evil fuck. Anyway, moving on from that topic, now that that's clear. What other... Oh, here we go. Let's talk about this one. because this was on my fucking feed today. Abortion. Conservatives, get it through your fucking head. Banning abortion will not stop abortion. Will not. It'll just cause more social fucking issues that we have to deal with. Alright, this is my issue with the Christian conservative worldview. It's based in absolutes. Black and white, good and evil, blah, blah, blah. It's a problem because life isn't built on absolutes. There are no fucking absolutes other than the fact that you're going to die. That's it. That's the only absolute. There's no absolute you're going to be born. There's no absolute for anything else in life other than that you will fucking die. That's period. But the Christian conservative worldview is solely based on absolutes. As I said, black, white, good, evil, right, wrong, blah, blah, blah. That's a problem because it narrows your field of vision. First off, what a woman does with her body, what she discusses with her doctor, is nobody's fucking business. Nobody's. It's not your fucking business. None of your fucking business. Banning abortions will work in the same way that prohibition worked, or that the war on drugs worked. If you want to be proactive and effectively lower the number of abortions, then you need to start working with public school districts to teach age-appropriate sex education, comprehensive sex education. This abstinence-only bullshit that you Christian fucks advocate for increases unwanted pregnancies in teens. It also increases STDs in teens. So stop with the abstinence-only purity culture bullshit and teach comprehensive sex education, age appropriate. That lowers abortion rates. You can't teach somebody not to do something if you don't teach them the consequences of that something. You tell somebody not to do something, but you don't tell them what the consequences are, they're going to fucking do it out of curiosity. It's called being human, and I know how Christians hate being human. Another thing, stop with this religious freedom bullshit. Denying contraceptive care through an insurance company because of a sincerely held religious belief, that Hobby Lobby decision, is fucking dumb. That also leads to increased abortion rates. Something people need to understand. Christian conservatives 100% want the United States to become a Christian theocracy. That's what they're pushing for. It's obvious in what they do. When they say they don't want abortions, but then they want to ban sex education and they want to ban contraceptive care, what they're essentially saying is, we want you to only ever have sex if you're in a heterosexual marriage and for strictly the purpose of procreation, never for enjoyment. They literally want to legislate your sex life. 100% that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to narrow it down. You can't be educated on sex, you can't get contraceptive care, and you can't fuck people of the same gender. We want you to just live the Christian life that my God says you have to live. That's their fucking goal. I mean, evidence of that is with Project Blitz. If you don't know what that is and you haven't seen it, you should definitely look that shit up, because it's literally a list of policies and laws that Christian conservatives and nationalists are trying to put into place to turn America specifically into a Christian theocracy. It's literally Handmaid's Tale's bullshit. Exactly what it is. I'm sorry, my nose itches. And I think that's a problem. You know, every time Christianity is in charge of something, everything goes horribly fucking wrong. You got Inquisitions. You got Salem witch trials. You got the Crusades, the Dark Ages. You got the Bible being used to justify slavery and Jim Crow laws and the fight against women's rights to vote and own property. And now more recently, the fight against LGBTQ. All of these are predominantly Christian, and they're the wrong answers, right? Because we know that allowing people to take control of their own lives and pursue their own happiness is literally the best route. Two men getting married has no effect on society. A transgender child being on testosterone or estrogen blockers has no effect. No effect on society. None. People being promiscuous is not a damnation of their personality. It doesn't define them at all. I've said this in a lot of my TikTok videos, and I've said it in probably both of the other episodes, 1 and 2 of this podcast, that purity culture is one of the most damaging consequences that has come from Christianity in all of its fucking existence. If you want any window into what this looks like, seriously, go look up Dr. Kellogg, the inventor of cornflakes. Fucking seriously, read about that motherfucker, because he was an absolute psychopath. He invented cornflakes as a medicine to stop people from masturbating. Fucking insanity. Seriously. Christians are always wrong about social issues. Always. They're always wrong. All the fucking time. I don't think that faith-based answers to real-world problems are legit. We need rational means of solving problems. So, I mean, you know, take that for what you will. Let's see if we got another video in here.
I'm not sorry for cussing. I'm really fucking not. And if your bitch ass doesn't like it, then get the fuck off my TikTok. Cussing helps me get through every shitty goddamn day. So fuck shit, damn bitch, ass hell twat is what I love to say. If I offend you with my language, here's what you fucking do. Unfollow or block me, cause I'm not fucking living to please you. If you report this video, I wish you the best of luck. But before I go, I want you to know that fuckity fuck fuck fuck.
I think if you're on TikTok, you've probably seen that guy. I don't have his name available, or I would tag him in this and give him all the credit, but I don't remember. If you know who he is, please tag him in the comments. Let everybody know. I agree with his position. Words are just words. There is no such thing as bad language. I think of it like the George Carlin school of bad language. Words are not inherently bad. If it's all about context. Like, if you really think about it, some people get really offended by foul language, but that's just bullshit. Of all the things you could be offended by in the world, seriously, a word. The Catholic Church steady rapes children and hides those pedophiles from prosecution, and you're offended by a fucking word? You're a goddamn child. But George Carlin said, words can't be inherently bad, so context matters. If I walk through my bedroom and I stub my toe on an object in my room and I cuss, well, it's inanimate. That cuss word isn't meant for anybody. It's not targeting anybody. It's just completely arbitrary. If I walk into a room and I put my finger in somebody's chest and I say, fuck you, well then, by all means, take offense, because that's what I meant it for. See, it's all about context. How you use a word can make it good or bad. I don't think bad language is a thing. Foul language isn't real. I also don't give a fuck about hate speech. I don't fucking care about hate speech. I do not give a fuck. I am not offended by hate speech. I don't fucking care. I like men and women. Go ahead, call me a faggot. It just tells me more about you. You're a shitty human being. And you're going to live with the consequences of that. So, fuck you. Hate speech is just free speech. I realize that, oh, I'm offended, you hurt my feelings. Well, your feelings are valid, but you're responsible for your response to how you feel. He is not responsible. Whoever said it isn't responsible. You are responsible for your reaction to what goes on in your life. It's just that simple. Oh, another good topic for conversation is this not all men bullshit, or this not all Christians bullshit. God damn. Look, I'm an intimidating looking guy, and I work as a Lyft driver, and I cannot blame a woman for being intimidated, getting into a car with me by herself. I don't take offense when she's got friends who want to stay on the phone with her the entire ride. There are some guys out there with some really thin fucking masculine issues they need to fucking deal with because they get all offended. Not all guys. I'm not like that. Dude, how the fuck is she supposed to know? She's not fucking... She can't read your goddamn mind, dude. She's not psychic. She doesn't know what man is a threat and what man isn't. So in her own best interest,